Do you know that feeling when you have to make a decision and every option looks terrible? Not the small decisions, not what to eat or what to wear, the real ones, the ones that actually matter. The ones where you lie awake at night, running through every possible outcome, and every outcome has something wrong with it. The ones where everyone around you has an opinion, and none of the opinions agree. The ones where doing nothing feels just as dangerous as doing something. A storm is coming from the north. Enemy ships are closing from the east. There's a reef straight ahead, and you are standing at the wheel of your ship with 3 wrong answers and a crew looking at you, waiting for a right one. That is the situation I am going to talk about today. Because here's the thing about decisions that nobody tells you. The fear is not really about making the wrong choice. The fear is about not being able to live with yourself if the wrong choice costs you something real. That is what freezes people, not confusion, fear of ownership. Today I am going to show you how to make a call when every option looks bad. And I'm going to show you through something that happened on this ship on one of the worst afternoons we have ever had on the open ocean. It started perfectly. The Rotten Kraken was 3 days out from port, running good wind, making better time than Tomas had calculated, which meant either Tomas's calculations were wrong, which is impossible, or the ocean was in an unusually generous mood, which I chose to believe. The crew was settled, the sky was clear, I was at the helm, feeling the specific kind of satisfaction that only comes from a ship moving well under your hands. Everything was exactly as it should be. And then the sky to the north changed color. Not slowly, not the way a sunset changes, where you have time to appreciate it. Fast, the particular dark gray-green that every sailor recognizes and nobody is ever happy to see. A color that means the ocean has decided to stop being generous and start being honest. Tomas was at my elbow in under 30 seconds, charts in both hands, pocket watches rattling, hair standing up in that specific way it does when he has already run the numbers and does not like any of them. He told me the storm was moving fast, faster than it should be for its size. He told me we had perhaps 40 minutes before the outer edge reached us. He also told me, and this is where his voice got very specific, that he had spotted 2 ships on the eastern horizon, naval vessels, the kind that did not appear in this part of the ocean by accident. And then he told me about the reef. There was a reef running roughly south-southwest from our current position, shallow, unmarked on most charts, because most ships with any sense did not sail this route. We were sailing this route because I had decided 3 days ago that it was faster, which it was, until now. Storm from the north, ships from the east, reef to the south, open ocean to the west, but west took us back the way we came, back toward the port we had just left, back toward 3 days of lost time, and the specific kind of defeat that tastes worse than failure, because it tastes like retreat. 4 directions, 0 good options, and Tomas standing at my elbow with all of this information laid out very clearly and precisely, and looking at me like a man who has done everything right and needs the person next to him to do the same. Now, I want to tell you what the wrong response to that situation looks like, because I have seen it. I have done a version of it myself before I understood what was actually happening. The wrong response is what Tomas does. I love Tomas. He is the most intelligent person on this ship. He can calculate wind speed, current drag, and sail trim simultaneously while conducting a separate conversation about the history of Portuguese navigation. His mind is extraordinary. And in a crisis, his mind becomes his cage. Because Tomas does not just see the 4 options in front of him. He sees 40. He sees every variable within each option. He sees the secondary consequences of each primary choice and the tertiary consequences of each secondary consequence. He calculates the probability of the storm shifting direction. He factors in the draft of the naval ships on the eastern horizon. He considers the depth variation of the reef at different tidal stages. He knows more about this situation than anyone on the ship, and he is paralyzed. Not because he is weak, not because he doesn't care, but because his brain will not let him stop at good enough. His brain needs the right answer, the correct answer, the answer that eliminates all risk and guarantees the best outcome. And that answer does not exist. It never exists, not in real decisions, not in the ones that matter. And while Tomas is calculating, the storm is moving. And while the storm is moving, the naval ships are getting closer. And while the naval ships are getting closer, the window for any decision, good or bad, is getting smaller. This is the trap of overthinking that everyone falls into at some point. You are not confused, you are not stupid, you are waiting for certainty that is not coming. And the longer you wait, the more the decision gets made for you by circumstances you no longer control. A bad decision made fast can still be steered. A perfect decision made too late is just a thought you had, while everything collapsed around you. The sea does not wait for you to feel ready, neither does life. I looked at the storm, I looked at the ships, I looked at the reef, I looked at the west, and I made a decision in about 12 seconds. Not because I had more information than Tomas, I had less. Not because I was less afraid, I was afraid. That feeling in your chest when the stakes are real and the clock is running, I know exactly what that feels like, and I felt it standing at that wheel. But here's what I have learned about decisions that Tomas has not yet learned, and I say this with complete respect for him. Certainty is not a requirement for action. Commitment is. You do not need to know that you are right. You need to know that you are going to follow through with whatever you choose, with everything you have. Because a mediocre choice executed with total commitment will almost always outperform a brilliant choice executed with hesitation. I chose West, not because West was the best option. It probably wasn't. Not because going back felt good. It felt terrible. Retreat always feels terrible when you have pride in where you were going. But West gave me one thing the other 3 directions did not. Time. Time to let the storm pass. Time to let the naval ships move on. Time to plot a new route around the reef once the pressure was off. Sometimes the best decision is the one that buys you better decisions later. I turned the wheel, hard. The rotten kraken leaned into it. She always responds like she trusts me, even when I'm not sure I trust myself yet. Tomas made a sound I won't try to reproduce here. The crew felt the ship change direction and looked to me, and I gave them one thing, not explanation, not reassurance, just forward direction. I told them what we were doing, not why I thought it might work, what we were doing, in clear, specific terms. That matters more than people realize. In a crisis, the people around you do not need your doubt. They need your direction. Give them clarity. Give them something to execute. Your doubt is yours to carry privately. The moment you share your doubt, before you share your decision, you have taken from the people who needed you to hold it. Make the call. Tell them clearly. Move. Process the doubt after the ship is turned. This is not about ships and storms. You know that. This is about every moment in your life where multiple things are going wrong simultaneously, and you are standing in the middle of it, trying to find the option that has no downside. The job decision where both choices cost you something. The relationship question where every answer hurts someone. The financial situation where every path forward is harder than the one behind you. The moment where your brain keeps running the numbers and the numbers keep coming back wrong. You are not going to find the option with no downside. It does not exist. The real question is never which option is perfect. The real question is which option do you want to own? Which one can you look back at, whether it works or not, and say, I made that call with what I had, and I executed it with everything I had. That is the decision you can live with, win or lose. The storm doesn't care that you haven't made up your mind yet. The naval ships on the eastern horizon do not pause while you calculate. The reef does not move. You have more information than you think you do. You have better instinct than you are giving yourself credit for. And you have a crew, people around you, real ones, who do not need you to be certain. They need you to move. Turn the wheel. The ship will follow. Tomas eventually came around. He spent 4 hours updating his charts after I turned the ship west. He ran the calculations backward. What would have happened if we had